You're tuned into No Good Music.
And here are your hosts, Rob and Sam.
Hey everybody, this is Rob.
And this is Sam.
And we are back. This is show 93. And we're going to talk about, I think we both have two albums that are celebrating anniversaries. And that's all we're going to talk about on the show. I don't know if you want me to go first.
It's up to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So, we're going to spotlight 4 records total here.
Yeah.
And I picked one that's pretty popular and one that's a little bit more, I wouldn't say obscure, but for the, with deeper tracks. So the big popular one for me is is he just John Mellencamp now? John Mellencamp's Scarecrow. At least it is August 1st. This was released in August 85.
He was John Cougar. And he was John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah, and now he's just John Mellencamp, I think.
Pretty soon he'll just be John.
Yeah, I just call him John. So I wanted to, because everybody knows like a lot of the hits off that. So I did some research. I wanted to kind of do more of a deep dive into it, right?
Okay.
So the theme and inspiration on that record was like, I hate the word I can't say very well, a rural heartland rock manifesto. And a lot of it was based on his concern over the collapse of like American farming and the loss of those communities and like the traditional American dream. He recorded it in a converted farmhouse studio outside of Bloomington because he wanted a raw sound. In preparation, the band immersed themselves in classic 50s and 60s rock and soul. So he wanted to ground the album's roots rock aesthetic. It had 5 hit singles, including Small Town, Rain on the Scarecrow, Lonely Old Night, and R.O.C.K. in the USA. And Rumble Seat. Now, R.O.C.K. in the USA, I remember in elementary school, my music teacher played that, like we sang that song in class over and over again. Oh, God, we learned to hate that song. So, that record just had such a huge cultural impact. It was influential in spawning Farm Aid, which is widely hailed as his artistic peak and defining 80s American rock album. So
yeah, I just brought up Farm Aid started on September 22nd, 1985.
Yeah.
So soon after this album came out, because he was on like you said, he was this whole album about just in support of farmers and this whole theme with this album. I mean, he's on the cover, isn't he, standing by a fence? Yeah, it was a very another like personal, like very, very emotional album probably for him to do. I have a couple John Cougar albums. Yeah.
One of my favorites, I forget the name of it. One of his later or newer, I forget how you say it. I'm going to tell you, everybody's got to listen to this record. It's one of my favorite from him. I'm stalling here because I'm looking for it. I should know the name of it.
I like that album.
Whenever We Wanted, which came out in 91.
Oh, okay.
It's a little more rockin'. I really like that record.
Too much of the later ones. The other, I loved That was like
I think it was like last year he was playing in Toledo and he was talking and someone said to him like, hey, just shut up and just play music. Wow. And like he went after the person and just stopped the show and left.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Music has been always, there's political music, there's been politics. Yeah. I mean, you can have your, and it probably didn't start till maybe it's maybe it started before the 60s, but I know the 50s. I don't think there wasn't any political songs I could think of, going that far back. But until like Bob Dylan and
Well,
Woody.
there's things that have had like political, like Street Fighting Man by the Rolling Stones
Yeah.
was
Okay.
banned for
Yeah.
a minute. Even Rumble by Link Ray, even though it was instrumental, they thought that was gonna get the teenagers to riot,
Hmm.
because it was like such a heavy sounding song. So,
Yeah.
which is funny, it's instrumental. But Rumble was a fight, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah. All right, Rob, what do you got over there?
I've got The Cure, who
Ah,
I've loved a long time. Just recently I started to get back into them. I might have told you that. Um, we have this is The Head on the Door, and maybe a lot of people aren't familiar with this one, but it was their breakthrough album. It came out on August 30th, 1985, and it marks the 40th anniversary of The Cure's groundbreaking, hip shaking, muffin bacon, Kevin Bacon. Okay, where was I? The Head on the Door, yes. This was their sixth album released on Fiction Records, which was the home of The Cure for over 20 years. Now let's start with the title, Head on the Door. Where did this come from? When I think of Head on the Door, I think of a door knocker. I mean, I don't know. That's what comes to mind,
oh, oh,
right? Yeah, before doorbells, there were door knockers.
right.
They didn't require a battery, just the strength of your hand. I'm sure some doors still have door knockers. But
Yeah, I still see him. I still see him.
but if you weren't, how loud could a door knocker be? I guess I could be pretty loud.
I've seen some, my day job as real estate, as many may or may not know, but I still see them, especially in some more of the like vintage or, older homes.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes I see some pretty elaborate ones that are like, pieces of machinery.
They're going to come back. They're going to make them where it maybe they have these where it's a like electronic door knocker where it hits a button and it actually makes the sound of the door knocking. That would be your doorbell.
Interesting.
Maybe I'm onto something. No.
It could be.
So the title is actually inspired by a reoccurring dream that Robert Smith had, where he envisioned a head floating behind a door.
Interesting.
The phrase also appears in the song "Close to Me," which is also on the album. Now the album starts off very, very. I have chipper here with "In Between Days." There's a driving drum beat. The dreamy synth sounds that we know. Lyrics reflect getting old, being scared, making someone run away. I'm being goofy. I'm being wrong. I go through some of the tracks here. Kyoto song, slower song. I think the song's about eating babies. I mean, I don't know. What else could it be about? Right? It looks good. It tastes like nothing else. It's so smooth it even feels like skin. It tells me how it feels to be new. That would be a baby, but I don't know.
Good. Never mind.
It's a weird, let me just say it's a weird song if you've never heard it. And there's a vision of someone dying in a pool in the song. There's this weird stuff going on in that song. It's a really cool song, though. It's just the lyrics. Robert Smith wasn't, very straightforward lyrically. Now, the third song, it's weird because it has it sounds like it could be out of the Mambo King, movie. Like it has that, I don't know what they call it, flamingo music, like a Spanish guitar sound to it. And then Close to You, the greatest hand clap songs ever made. And when I was in a band back in 1988, yes, I was in a band, a new wave band.
Oh.
I started in the band playing sound effects. I had a friend who was in a band and I wanted to be in the band. And I bought a keyboard. And that's all I was allowed to play at first because I really couldn't play. But in this song, I graduated because I actually played the keyboard part. It's very simple in this song. close to you. I don't know if you know the song. It's like
what's the melody of that one? Go hum it, sing it
boom,
from.
boom, 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 boom. I can't sing.
My band in high school, we used to do a
Close to
couple
you.
Cure songs.
Oh, and here's some info on the album. You know, I am making some jokes at Robert Smith's expense, but you know, I do love this album. Robert Smith said the album was inspired by Kaleidoscope, the Susie and the Banshees album, and Dare by the Human League.
Oh, interesting.
He wanted the album to be eclectic with different styles and moods. And when he was interviewed back in 85, he said his 5 favorite albums. Now, this is interesting. Back in 85, here's Robert Smith's 5 favorite albums. Mirror Moves, The Psychedelic Furs. I just picked that album up recently. This Year's Model, Elvis Costello. Low by David Bowie. Kaleidoscope, Susie and the Banshees. And I've never heard of that. Well, I've heard of the Stranglers. Radis Norvegus by the Stranglers. Now, this was their first big international success. Entered the top 75 in the US and reached the top 20 in numerous other countries. It was well received by the British press. Melody maker Steve Sutherland hailed the liberty that Smith took to conceive a multifaceted record. Andy Strickland of Record Mirror wrote that Head on the Door may lack the swirls of chorused guitar that many adore, but there's a wider, more mature musical approach. And I'd say if you're going to explore The Cure, I'd start with this album. Maybe the next one. I think the next one was Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me. That's a fun album. Because some of the earlier albums still can't get into. They were darker. I really think the sound was, I have here, the sound as if on some of them you took the master tapes and ran them over with a tank.
Oh, God.
I mean, maybe not that bad. But there's a big difference between the earlier albums and this album, I think. You know, and I have here, listen to the song Cold from the album Pornography from 82. You'll hear what I mean, that the song just drags on, like drones on. And I love the new stuff, Songs of a Lost World. I think they're coming out with a new album too soon. But that got me back into them. And that album is kind of slow too. I don't think there's any poppy songs on that one. It kind of reminded me of Disintegration, which is another album I love. So I listened to this out. I'll probably listen to it again because of the anniversary coming up. Of course, I don't have the date it came out. That's great. But it was August 85. So that's my first album there.
Thanks for depressing us.
Sorry.
Very sad. Ready for my second one?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more obscure. It's The Rose of England by Nick Lowe in his cowboy outfit. Now, I love Nick Lowe.
Mm-hmm. I like Nick Lowe.
Rockpile. He plays with Little Straight Jackets
Pile.
now.
Rockpile is one of the most. I mean, I think they had one album out.
Now, he has one of his later records, which is like it's called "Dig My Mood."
Mm-hmm.
It's like faithless lover, under your spell I fell, and for no one. Like he's just like it's this crooner record that is just
Okay.
over the top. It's so good. Everyone go listen to it. But anyway, this is another 1985, released in August. So it was the second and final record with what he referred to as his cowboy outfit. It's considered country rock, rockabilly, new wave, power pop, and it's got some kind of neat covers on it as well. So he does a song by Moon Mullikins, which he was like a 40s, 50s hillbilly piano player.
Oh, really?
It's called Seven Nights to Rock. He had his own song that I think a lot of people know. I Knew the Bride when she used to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah. Love that song.
It was revamped, and Huey Lewis provided
Huey Lewis
some backing tracks on it. Yeah.
I just got. I'm going to interrupt. I just got.
Interrupt. This is what it's about.
I just got Huey. Where is he? Where's Huey? Hold on. He was here. I just got Huey Lewis 4 on vinyl.
Oh, nice.
I have sports because I will be meeting Huey Lewis.
Oh, really? Well, you got to talk
yeah.
about Nick Lowe.
Huey Lewis, I think, has started doing autograph shows, and he's going to be at the one I usually go to like twice a year, called Chiller Theater. They had a lot of Back to the Future people, and they have a couple Back to the Future people. So I think they've been trying to get him for a while, and I don't think he performs anymore.
Okay.
Because of hearing problems. I love Huey. So anyway.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I respect him a lot more. He covers Bobo Skididdle by Wayne Walker. Wayne Walker was a 50s, 60s country music hall of famer. It's over 20 BMI artist awards. Apparently written like over 400 songs.
Okay, so now I'm writing down stuff. Wayne Walker.
Wayne Walker. He does John Hyatt's "You Don't Love Nobody." He does Elvis Costello. It's Indoor Fireworks.
Elvis Costello. That name sounds familiar. No, I know.
He actually did that song before Elvis Costello's own version appeared in '86.
You know what? I have to say, because that's off of. Is that off of King of America or Imperial Bedroom?
I don't know his catalog that well.
Matt and I were in Baltimore the one time, and we were in a record store. It's weird how you remember certain things that really mean hardly anything, but
yes,
I bought those 2 albums. So those 2 albums for me go together, King of America and Imperial Bedroom. And Indoor Fireworks is one of my absolute favorite Elvis Costello songs.
Oh.
And I listen to Nick Lowe, and I still, because it's one of my favorite Elvis Costello songs, I can't say that the Nick Lowe song is better for me. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough. Yeah.
It is just the thought, just the writing, the lyrics on that. You know, it's about fighting, and it's about in a relationship. But Indoor Fireworks, it's just,
So the reception and the story of the record, Huey Lewis was brought in to give Lowe more of a traction stateside since he produced and performed on Andy the Bride. Critics regarded it as an energetic return to form. Pop Dose called it one of Lowe's best overall, praising covers like Indoor Fireworks and She Don't Love Nobody.
So Huey produced that album, right?
No, just that record, I Knew the Bride. I mean, just that song, I Knew the Bride.
Oh,
so he played harmonica and vocals.
Okay.
So Nick Lowe's just a national treasure, if you ask me. He's phenomenal. He's still at it. He did some stuff with Wilco in the past few years, and like he's a songwriter, man. He's a great one.
I know he's played locally, and probably I want to say he's played like some record stores around here.
Probably.
You know? And I saw Nick Lowe with Elvis Costello many years ago, and Nick Lowe opened, and then it was a very memorable show because Elvis Costello had a wheel on stage, like a spinning wheel that you'd see at a carnival, and it had songs.
Really?
On it. Yes.
Oh, did like the Wheel of Songs.
So he had songs on it, and this guy came out, sort of an MC, went into the audience to pick people to go up on stage and spin the wheel. Unfortunately, I wasn't picked, but it was later to be known that it was Nick Lowe who was wearing a wig or something and a suit. You know, he just looked a little different than he normally did. And he was the guy going out in the audience picking people and bringing them up on stage. That was a show. And then Elvis would play that song, you know. And I think if it came up on the same song, I had to spin it again. And I think there were maybe obscure songs. Of course, he knew all the songs on the wheel. It wasn't like, oh, how do I play this? You know, something like, you know, it's not like people yelling out song titles. But that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
So my next album is the Pogues, which we talked about on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Rum, Sodomy, and the Lash. Great title.
Mm-hmm.
Released on August 5th, 1985. This was only their second studio album, and it was produced by, not Huey Lewis, Elvis Costello.
Ah, see, we didn't even plan this.
I know we didn't. I know.
Pretty cool.
Now the album starts off with the sick bed of Cooch Lane. Very. I mean, the song starts slow and then it like freaking kicks in. You know, your typical now Pogue song with just, you know, like we're having a party. But it's about a man who is dying. He's in his dying bed and people are gathered around telling stories about him. Not the best of times. There's a lot of drinking, puking, you know, but they're reliving some of the stuff that this guy has gone through. Now I'm going to give you a history lesson like we like to do.
Yes, please.
The name, and it's Cúchol. Yeah, it's Cúchol is an Irish warrior hero and demigod in the Ulster cycle of Irish mythology, as well as in Scottish and Manx, I don't know what that is, folklore. But you can look him up. He kills his son, Conla, who comes to find him after many years. And he approaches Cúchol, but he won't identify himself. So his father, they do battle, and he unfortunately mortally wounds his son with a spear. Has nothing to do with the song, just the name.
Wow.
The second, okay, now we're on the second track. Old Man Drag. This is my favorite song off the album. It's pretty mellow. There's mandolin, accordion, but it kind of has a Tom Waits feel to it. The lyrics are kind of, you know, the lyrics are just great. He talks about going down to the dilly, which I tried to figure out what this was, but the closest thing I can figure out is Piccadilly. You know, like a town square, maybe.
Yeah.
But in the song, this is where all the druggies and sex workers go. The Pogues are great with writing these, you know, these songs. He gets to the dilly and says, I love these. I just love the lyrics. There's the he-males and she-males, paraded in style, and the old men with money would flash you a smile. In the dark of the alley, you would work for a 5, for a swift one off the wrist, down in the old main drag. And we're not going to go into what a swift one off the wrist is, but I think we back alley. We
can all draw our own conclusion on that one.
And then let's see. So and then we do have a couple instrumentals, track 3 and track 7. And then I don't know. This is another. This is a combination. Like with the Cure, they did that kind of Spanish, like I said, guitar kind of bolero sounding.
Mm-hmm.
The Pogues, you know, they're not known. They're known for like Celtic, you know.
Yeah.
Well, this one is called Epistle for Paddy Garcia. And I don't know how they did it, but they mixed Celtic and like spaghetti Western, like Western music on this song. And I looked it up because it's not on the original album, but it is on Apple Music, and it's actually, and it is track 7. It's not like it's an extra track, but it is a bonus track, and it's the B-side of Dirty Old Town. So this was produced, like I said, by Elvis Costello. And how did that happen? Elvis's manager, Jake Riviera, he was the co-founder of Stiff Records, and that's the label that the Pogues are on. He approached the Pogues to see if Elvis could produce 2 songs on the album. So Elvis was originally supposed to produce the songs A Pair of Brown Eyes and Sally McClellan, but ended up producing the entire album. Says the Pogues wanted someone who could let them be themselves in the studio and pretty much record live. So they didn't want anybody, you know, maybe they take some opinions, but, you know, these producers want to kind of, there are great producers out there that can bring out, you know, certain things.
Yeah.
but they already had, I think, what they knew. They knew what they were going to do. They knew how they wanted this album to sound. Elvis said, "I saw my task was to capture them in their dilapidated glory before some more professional producer fucked them up." That's what Elvis said. So Elvis must have liked the Pogues. Like they said, they already had one album out, and obviously he knew who they were, and his manager owned the record company. So there's that. So I remember the Pogues is the first album I actually bought was the one where there's a boxer on the cover. It's Love and Pride or something like that. Hate and Pride or something. But I remember what was unique was the guy had, I think, an extra finger, because there's words on his fist. But back in the 80s, I was listening to like The Cure and Depeche Mode, U2, and U2 was probably the closest, and Sinead O'Connor as far as musicians and bands from Ireland.
Yeah.
The Pogues were like nothing. I never listened to the Chieftains. I only heard about them like afterwards. But the Pogues were like, and here's this guy, Sean McGowan, with missing teeth. He wasn't like anyone we saw before, too. Like the polished, the MTV, the people on MTV, the music videos.
Yeah. They were just like, so.
There were no flock of seagulls, they were a little different. I always think most of these are drinking songs about drinking. I mean, I also picture a pub at the time in Ireland. I mean, maybe they didn't like the Pogues. I don't know. But, having some of these songs on the jukebox, you just picture people drinking and smashing mugs and when you listen to some of this stuff.
For sure.
And you have to be in a mood, to listen to these. But I like most of the songs have stories to them, whether they're good or bad. Just like Tom Waits. I love Tom Waits. There's always a story there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a story about just a common man that's down on his luck, or just
it's just like
we can kind of maybe relate to. I don't know.
Yeah, totally agree.
Now, there's some traditional songs on here, meaning they're old as fuck, and they were back in 1985. Track 4, "I'm a Man You Don't Meet Every Day." Love this song, and it's not only a song from the 1800s, but this recording has a female voice. And the woman's name is Kate O'Riordan, and no relation to Dolores from the Cranberries.
The Cranberries.
She was on the first 2 Pogues albums, and they originally had her in mind to sing "Fairy Tale of New York," which is like one of my absolute favorite.
Yeah, it's just
holiday song, and that was on the 3rd album. Now she also goes by the name of Rocky O'Riordan. And apparently she has a show on Sirius Radio.
Oh, really?
And I don't know why she goes by Rocky, just a nickname, I guess. So this is a great album. Again, I think this is an introduction to the Pogues.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they kind of strayed too far from all their albums, I would think. There's a combination. Like I said, there's a couple instrumentals on here, a couple interesting. The one is a really interesting instrumental. We mentioned in the last podcast, it's been a year and a half since Shane MacGowan passed away. But the Pogues are actually touring. And I have here September 8th, they'll be in Philly, and September 19th in Chicago. Oh, wow. So I only mentioned those 2 because they're near. Philly's near me, Chicago. I don't know how far you are from.
It's a trek.
Yeah, Philly's an hour and a half, so I'm sure Chicago.
Yeah, it's like Chicago for me is 3-4 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Cleveland's closer, probably. Detroit is 30 minutes.
So that does it for our album anniversaries. We're trying something different because we usually include this in our other podcast, which have become like an hour and a half podcast.
I think that was 4 very good and different, a wide range of records that can meet the needs of a lot of different people.
Yeah, and maybe we'll do this, once a month. We'll pick a couple albums, and anniversaries. It's weird how numbers work because I always think it should be 50, 40, 30, even 25 is a good one. Even 10. But I don't think, maybe
Backstreet Boys 11th year anniversary.
Yeah. Maybe some albums. I listen to albums not just on the anniversary, but some albums, if it's celebrating 3 years, it could be 32 years. Maybe I'll listen to it just because it is an anniversary. But yeah, so
celebrate everything.
So thank you, Sam, for joining me today. And
Rob, thanks for having me.
Once again, anyone who wants to send us an email, just to praise us, and if you like the podcast, tell your friends and family, get them listening. And if you're a musician, singer, songwriter, you play the banjo, as long as it's good music, send us an email, nogoodmusicpodcast@gmail.com. It's KNOW, and give it a listen, and maybe we'll use it on our segment for Give It a Listen. So,
give it a listen.
So thanks again, and remember, people, turn off that TV.
And turn up the music.
Goodbye. You've been listening to No Good Music, intro and exit music by the band 99%. Today's show is produced and edited by Rob J. Lilly and recorded at the Did You Say 7 Studios in Washington, New Jersey. You can find No Good Music on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Pandora, and almost anywhere you listen to podcasts.